Hey everyone, welcome to my channel as a married man. I want to thank you all for tuning in and checking it out. It's here where we talk about love, life, relationships, and more, all from the perspective of a married man. So guys, go ahead and smash that like button for me. And please hit that subscribe. It'll really help me out. My channel is it's a little past 2 months old now. Getting close to 50 subscribers. So if you're sympathetic to a little startup channel like this one, if you like relationship advice, if you want to donate some vintage 80s toys, maybe, just feel free to subscribe and just check out my videos. Thanks, guys. So, anyways, today I'm going to be reviewing a video from the fellow YouTube channel, and his name is LFA, and he made a video called "The Cold Hard Truth About Dating Younger Women and the Age Gap Relationships." So this is another channel that came across my YouTube recommended video reel, whatever you want to call it. Just popped up basically when I turned on YouTube. It's like fate or something, destined to make a review of this video, but it's an interesting topic, and I wanted to check it out. So I went and visited LFA's channel, and he just seems like another red pill manosphere kind of dude. And he talks about relationships, dating, fitness, finance, stuff like that. So kind of a kindred spirit. Um, it looks like he does work with other men's channels too, which is kind of cool. So he's, firmly planted in the manosphere. So yeah, a good resource, a good video for me to review. But guys, go ahead and check out LFA's channel. Uh, Tell him I said what's up. And yeah, I will post a link to his channel and to the video in the bio here. But yeah, let's get started. So LFA, he starts by bringing up the age gap in relationships, how it's all the craze in the manosphere, guys that are 35, 40 or older, and younger girls, women, early early 20s and whatnot. Um, that's basically the topic here. The older guys, younger women. And East wants to share his opinion on the topic, and of course, I'm kind of piggybacking off him, so I'll share my opinion at the end. But he starts off here by, he throws out a pretty well-known fact, and that's the fact that men enter their professional prime in their 30s, and women, they enter their physical prime in their mid-20s. So, like starting a family, that makes sense. A man and a woman who are both in their primes, who, want to set out on course in life and start a family. That's not really his thing, but he does get the appeal. Um, he kind of comments something about that combination of salt and pepper hair, ripped abs. So I guess that'd be me. So, but he does go on to close this a little bit by stating basically, and this I thought was an interesting take. He states, for a man in his financial prime and a woman in her physical prime, there's really no benefits. And I actually had to listen to that a couple times. I thought maybe I misheard it or something. But yeah, he says, for a man in his financial prime and a woman in her physical prime, there's no benefits. I'll save my opinion till the end, of course, but that was his take. He continues by talking about, like the younger guys watching this video. You need to understand how everything in life goes through cycles. Like, you have to understand that fact. And he brings up a little bit about his youth, about being young, hanging out with, an older crowd, men and women, and, how he was kind of looking for someone his own age range, similar experience. And, he ended up passing on a lot of opportunities with older women, but he kind of learned in this cycle, um, the longer you wait, the harder it's going to get. Especially if you're looking for, a unicorn, as we call them. I'm sure you guys know the reference by now. But yeah, the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be to find one. And, people, it can going on in their cycle in life, they move on as you do. And, as people move on, there's going to be a maturity gap, different interests and stuff. And yeah, LFA goes on to mention, as you age, like, if you're a 25-year-old guy and, you're expecting like a 21-year-old unicorn to fall into your lap, that's not going to happen. Or at least, like, it's very unlikely. But, yeah, that kind of ties in, the whole aspect of the cycle in which LFA is discussing, in that basically the longer you wait, the lesser your chance is going to be to find that perfect partner. And like, this is multifaceted, of course. So, like, as you're aging, as you're growing, as you're moving into your mid 30s, um, if you're that guy who reaches that age where you got your proverbial shit together, you are going to have younger women crushing on you. And yeah, the more you mature, the more you're going to be confident. You're going to have the experience, and you could definitely make things happen, of course. But he goes on to continue dropping in another truth bomb here. He goes on to state, once you hit your mid 30s, this is where reality kind of kicks in. When you're in your mid 30s and you're a man and you're that successful guy, on his grind and whatnot, the women in your proximity are going to be either single moms, they're going to be 30-year-old spinsters that just want to party, or, they're going to be, lastly, like, young women in what LFA stated, are in their hoe phase. And of course, those of us in the manosphere, we know all too well about these young girls in their whole phase. We call it riding the carousel. These are the ones that are, they're trying to find themselves. And, they're the butt of many jokes in the manosphere. LFA, LFA states, like, these sort of women, from the married, I'm sorry, to the single mom, to the quote wine aunt, a spinster, or whatever. Like, they're cool to party with, but casual flames and stuff. But in terms of starting a family and in terms of settling down, like, these are not the droids you're looking for. Yeah, you're going to be hard pressed to find, especially a unicorn, when you're in those mid 30s. Like, LFA actually, just he goes on to even state, like, a unicorn doesn't just fall out of the sky. Like, you won't find her, or at least you're going to be incredibly hard pressed to find her. And it's actually interesting. He brings up, the social circle as a factor. Yeah, as that mid 30s guy, your social circle probably doesn't contain a lot of trad wife, early 20s virgins. Like, that's actually a good point. Um, but continuing on, like, detriments between being an older man and dating down, dating younger. he points out, especially like if you live in a small town, like a small quiet area, like say you're 37 and she's like 15 years younger than you, like, and in her early 20s, like, like there's a good chance that if you meet her parents, you'll probably have more in common with them than with her. Like, ouch. Like it's it's also possible, like, being from a small town, like those parents of this girl you're dating could be your former classmates. Like how how awkward is that? And that's what LFA refers to as a like the maturity gap, not just the age gap, but with it comes like a maturity gap. Like you'll have more in common with her parents than you will with her. And that's kind of crazy. Like if you're an OG, like versus like, a young woman, like you can when you interact with women who are substantially younger than you, like you can feel it, Like you notice it, like it can almost be awkward at times. Like interacting with these women, like that's kind of the vibe he gets. Like it's awkward to the point where you feel like you're almost manipulating them. Like it isn't really a good look. It's not a good feel. Like when you're dating outside your age range, like it's like wrestling outside your weight class or boxing outside your weight class for all you guys that are listening. Like, if you're a big 200-pound guy boxing like a little dude that's 150 or 180, like you have a substantial advantage. And that's kind of what I think LFA is getting at. Like when you're dating down, there's like that's one of the big issues is just that whole like gap of maturity and age, and it almost kind of feels awkward. But yeah, he continues on the subject, and he states like, as you age, like remember that your priorities change, that your standards go up. And you can argue that's a good thing that, you get more picky. You learn to take less bullshit in your life. Well, like considering numbers, finding someone to spend your life with, like that unicorn, that number isn't going up. It's decreasing. Remember that. As you age, your chances of finding a suitable partner, they are going down as well. Um, like basically what he's saying is, if you're in your 30s, and this was a good observation, if you're in your 30s and if you've ever hung out with like a group of 20-year-olds, like, it almost feels like you're around a bunch of children. Like, as a married man, with two teens that are approaching adulthood, as a Comic-Con nerd myself, a middle-aged guy hanging out with a bunch of young people, it is kind of really awkward, and it's almost like you have nothing in common. So that's actually a good point. Um, kind of pressing the issue of what he's stating there. Um, and he continues like, some guys will stay like, yeah, it doesn't have to be a 22-year-old. It could be a 29-year-old. And his rebuttal to that is like, you know, like good luck finding a 29-year-old that of actual quality, like trad wife material of that age, like she's just about to hit the wall, at 30. 30's the that invisible wall that women hit that separates their youth and their beauty and their childbearing years and their fertility. Once they hit that wall of 30, that's where their market value decreases substantially as they age. And, you know, um, for those that argue, well, it doesn't have to be 22, it could be 29. It's like either way, it's going to be hard to find a woman of quality as they age. So, but if all you're after is a hookup, in sex, like that MTAL sort of lifestyle, my words, not his. Like you will have a lot of success. Like if all you're after as a 35-year-old type of guy is sex, like yeah, you'll have a lot of success. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. But finding wifey material as LFA states, that's gonna be so much more difficult. So that's another thing to that's what he keeps reiterating through all this. Like you snooze, you lose. Like the older you get, the harder it's gonna be. So like this was a shocking take. Wait, he mentions at this point, like the guys who have the best relationships in his opinion are the guys who are, around 22 or 23 and they marry like a 19-year-old. Like or like say you're 24 and you marry a 20-year-old. Like that's like what he states is like the prime area, like the perfect age range, high age gaps. They have huge divorce rates, like marriage rates are super low as well of those with big age gaps. Like, if you're a guy who's after a perfect relationship, a long-term relationship, a marriage, stable marriage, loving, with children and a family, it's best to do it young. And, that kind of is what he ends the video stating. Like that's the big crux of the situation. Like if you want to stay on your grind, establish yourself, build your career, wait till you're in your late or mid 30s. Like you're making it a little hard on yourself. Just the fact that it's a little awkward to date down. And there are a lot of detriments to dating down, like from the maturity gap to just having completely separate interests and drives and motivations and goals and like that makes a lot of sense. Like LFA, he made a really good point there in that video and like he ends this off, guys, by just to finish this up. He states like he doesn't want guys to sit around and cope, um like the young guys tend to believe like once, as I said, like once they're financially stable, careers, they become a man. Um, they think, oh, a unicorn will fall out of the sky, or I can just date down. But understand that women they like men who are masculine, with wear and tear, and men who have some experience and some smarts. And that doesn't exactly mean you have to be in your 30s, you know what I mean? Like experience comes with age, but experience comes on its own as well. So, and women like masculinity in a man. So, like women dig masculinity, and it doesn't have to come from an older man. It can come from a guy in his early 20s, But as for men, men like feminine women, and they like women who are shiny and new, like a car, as Aliphae states. And yeah, I like the analogy he makes. He mentions, men are like trucks. When you buy a new one, you want to put some miles on it. You want to take it into the mud. You want to, put it to the test. You want to beat it up a little bit. That's how men are. Women, on the other hand, we treat them like our sports cars. We want them to be shiny, pristine. We no scratches, no dents, no mileage. We want that thing driven right off the lot. That's like the juxtaposition between men and how we see ourselves and how we see women. And like that's basically LFA's video on the cold truth about dating younger women. But what do I think about this as a married man? Like, first of all, I think, there's definitely some excellent knowledge here. And he brings up a lot of good points, a lot of truth. Um, and I mentioned, like, yeah, I'm a little confused. And I'll explain why. Let me reverse it to the beginning. Like from the beginning, he starts off, like I said, by dropping bombs here, not truth bombs, like well-known facts in the manosphere about how men enter their prime in their 30s. You know, they're on their hustle, they're on their grind, they're well on their way in their career. Physically, they're hopefully physically, guys are in their physical peak. They're working out on not only on their careers but on their bodies. And however, women they reach their physical prime in their 20s. So, like to reiterate, men enter their financial prime in their 30s, and women enter their physical prime in their 20s. And that's something that's real. And that's something that men and women have to work with and understand. And that's something that's well known, as I said, in the manosphere for the longest time. And those young women in their physical prime happen to find, older men in their financial prime attractive. And that's just a fact. Women date up. Like hypergamy, yeah, I'll know about it. Women date up. They want that financial security. They want a guy who's successful, a guy who's gonna keep them safe and secure. But financial is like almost the biggest aspect there. A lot of times they'll just stick with the man just for the financial security he provides. And that's why a lot of guys turn to MTOW. They don't want to be just a blank check to a woman. But that makes a lot of sense. But for a man who wants marriage and kids and a family, um, like Alfred goes on to state, there's not a lot of benefit to that. Like he goes on, Alfred goes on to talk about how, I mentioned earlier, life happens in cycles, and that's understandable. He told us the story of his youth and how he passed up opportunities. He wanted to be with someone his own age, and you know, um, he wanted to be with. He passed up opportunities with older women. He wanted just to stick to women in his age group, and that cycle kind of came and went. And he didn't find a woman, and he missed out on chances with other women, and from there, he talks about young guys nowadays, yeah, especially those that listen to the red pill content, in the manosphere, you know, these younger guys, they're led to believe that once they hit that mature peak in their 30s, that, yeah, they think that a unicorn is just gonna fall from the sky, this trad wife, 21, perfect for marriage, wife material, mother material. Yeah. Now, this elusive unicorn that every modern man wants in Western culture, but can't find. But he follows that up with a warning, like, for you guys that are waiting, if you snooze, you lose. Like, for you, those men that want to wait till they're in their 30s, that they're financially set and all that, you're gonna have a hard time finding a woman, a partner. And LFA continues just talking about, yeah, once you're that age in your 30s, the dating market is like in shambles. I can attest, even just as a married man, as an impartial observer, like Alfie stated, the dating market, it's all single moms, like spinsters who just want to party. And God forbid those younger women, the Tinderellas, the ones that are in their whole phase. You know, those are the women that they're the butt of 1,000 jokes on 1,000 different YouTube men's channels. These are the women riding the carousel. They're trying to find themselves. They're experimenting, and it's sad, but it's true. And LFA is just warning these dudes, like, yeah, don't expect a unicorn to fall from the sky when you're that age. It's not going to happen. And he brings up that interesting point about your social circle, guys. Like, if you're hanging out with older people, older crowd, older professionals, depending where you work, like, it's really very doubtful that that ideal woman is going to be in that crowd, or, you know, you're going to find her in that social circle. Like, that's a good point. Something people rarely think about, I think. But from here, what's funny and true, and if you're one of those older guys swimming in the shallow end of the dating pool, if you're chasing women who are 10 or 15 years younger than you, he mentions, imagine meeting her parents, like how awkward that is. I imagine dating a woman 10 or 15 years younger and you got more in common with her parents. That's like even you mentioned like that's kind of uncomfortable. Like it almost feels when you're dating someone so much younger that you're manipulating them in a way like uh, you're so far apart in so many areas that like you're kind of pulling her strings a bit. And yeah, he also goes on to mention like, yeah, as you age your priorities change, your standards go up, um and what you're looking for in a partner, like it's hard to find. um And like as a married man, he's stating basically that, there's this huge age gap, and you know, with it is that maturity gap, goals, priorities, worldviews. Like, that's crazy. And I can attest as a married man, like, I had one of my daughters the other day, she found an old printed map from, if anyone's familiar with the site MapQuest. I went on a road trip out of state. I had to print out the map, and my daughter, who's just finishing high school, had no idea what MapQuest was. She had no idea that people once used printed maps to actually get around in directions. And God forbid people had to learn streets and street names. And I just dealing with someone so much younger and having to explain something you went through, like I could totally understand how dating someone out of your age range who does not have your life experience, yeah, it's awkward. And then, yeah, as he said, another good point he made, like, hanging out in a room full of 20-year-olds as a 30-year-old man, like, it almost feels like you're amongst like a bunch of children. And that's so true. Um, they, so yeah, this video, it like LFA, he's a manosphere dwelling, red pill relationship YouTuber. And like it was refreshing hearing them talk about marriage, especially when he mentioned marrying at a young age. Like that's where I mentioned, guys, it was almost confusing to me when he said that, like he's actually condoning marriage. And yeah, that's what I liked about LFA and this video. Like, to sum things up, to end this, I think I'm just about to go on the 30-minute mark here, guys. I apologize. But I liked I liked how he ended the video, and it made me laugh, like how he mentioned, women like men who are masculine, on the guys, a little bit of wear and tear. It reminded me of a saying, a white knight is just a knight who has never been tested in battle, you know. And we all know about white knights in the manosphere. But he continued saying that, men like feminine women. We all want that trad wife, we all want that trad wife. That's about all I can state, that unicorn. That's what a unicorn is. It's a trad wife, and she possesses all those feminine qualities of what a mother would be and a wife would be. And it's what every man wants. And as I always state, a unicorn, it's not extinct, it's just rare. That's my opinion. There are good women out there, guys. LFA knows it. And for those of you seeking one, don't wait till you're 35 to find one. Like, there's nothing wrong with marrying when you're young. I know some of those red pill YouTubers are gonna disagree, but but lastly, just to finish things off, like I thought it was also pretty funny when he equated, like, men to trucks, um, tough and dirty, and they like to test them out in the mud and get them all, like, put them with some miles on them. It was scratch them and dent them, not a big deal. But on the other hand, we like our women like we like sports cars, like the newest model, like no scratches, no dents. We want them clean and pristine, and God forbid we do not want her with any miles on her, if you know what I mean. Like, that's so true. Like that, that's the juxtaposition of men right there. Like, we're the truck, and we want the sports car for a wife, that trad wife unicorn. Um, but that's about it though, guys. LFA, he made some good points about older guys dating younger women. And you can understand my confusion here. Like, there's so many red pill, MTAL YouTubers who swear off marriage. They do advocate for being on your grind and your purpose. They, focus on your career first. And young guys out there listen to that. And but LFA is here, and he's stating you don't just wait till you're older. Don't wait till you have a career. Like, by then you're gonna miss out. Um, but like, as a married man, I've been married. God, I got married when I was 25, I think, and my wife was 22, and we have two daughters now who are about to finish high school. But this is an interesting take, and one that I can understand with, like, is the age, the maturity divide, having the different goals and different mindsets. Yeah, I totally see where he's coming from. And for older men, yeah, I understand it's slim pickings on the dating market. But don't wait till you're older to try to find that woman, to try to find that unicorn. Like, let me know. That's about all I have to say. Just but I'm more interested to hear what you guys have to say on this subject. Like, do you guys believe in marriage? Like, do you believe in marrying young? Do you believe in marrying old? Like, does the age gap matter, guys? Like, leave me your thoughts in the comments. And lastly, special props, special thanks to LFA. Go ahead and check out his YouTube channel, guys. Give him a like and subscribe to his channel. As I said in the beginning, I'm trying to get to 50 here, and I think I'm in my 30s still. So I got a little bit of catching up to do. So please like and subscribe my channel. If you want to reach out to me, any story ideas, suggestions, comments, concerns, you want to donate some old G.I. Joes or some Star Wars toys, I, email me at asamarriedman@outlook.com. Um, Yeah, well, thanks, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you're still listening, I'll definitely catch you in the next one. Bye for now, guys.